Fort DeSoto Park. The Gulf waters whispered secrets to the shore. White sands stretched like sleeping cats warm under the Florida sun. Ancient gnarled trees stood guard, their branches reaching like arthritic fingers towards the sky. They had seen centuries pass. The air hummed with an old, quiet magic. Into this timeless landscape came four young dreamers. Luna, with flowers woven into her long, sun-bleached hair. River, who carried a worn guitar and a head full of cosmic theories. Saul, whose laughter was as bright as his tie-dyed shirts. And Willow, quiet and watchful, her eyes always searching for the unseen. They called themselves explorers of the mind, seekers of truth. Today their quest was for a specific kind of wonder, the mystical forest within DeSoto. They left the main paths behind, the happy shouts of families fading. The forest seemed to notice their arrival. As they ventured deeper, the leaves rustled, though no breeze stirred the humid air. Shadows danced at the periphery of their vision. Faint sounds like soft sighs or distant whispers seemed to emanate from the trees. Did you hear that? It's like someone whispered my name. River felt a rhythm in the silence, a slow, ancient heartbeat. Saul, usually boisterous, found himself quieting, listening. Willow touched the rough bark of a tree, feeling a faint vibration. They sought a key, a portal. They believed certain plants, certain fungi, held the power to unlock the doors of perception. Their eyes scanned the forest floor, peering under ferns, around the bases of twisted roots. Hey, over here, look at this! Nestled in a bed of emerald moss was a cluster of mushrooms. They seemed to glow faintly in the dim light of the undergrowth. With careful hands they gathered their find, not too many, just enough. The first change was subtle, a sharpening of the senses. The green of the leaves around them deepened, becoming 1,000 different shades. The intricate patterns of bark on the trees seemed to pulse with a gentle light. This is, wow, just wow. Saul saw colors in the air itself, swirling and coalescing like smoke. River felt the music of the earth thrumming up through his body. Willow saw the interconnectedness of all things, a web of light linking every leaf, every insect, every stone. The forest began to breathe. The trees swayed, not with wind but with a slow, deliberate rhythm. The patterns in the leaves and bark shifted and reformed, creating intricate, ever-changing mandalas. Light and shadow played tricks, creating faces in the foliage. The hippies were entranced, their earlier apprehension dissolving into a state of euphoric wonder. This was the magic they had sought. They felt a profound connection to the forest, to each other, to the universe itself. The whimsical dance of the forest faltered. The vibrant psychedelic colors began to bleed at the edges, darkening into bruised purples and angry reds. Shadows, once playful, now stretched and deepened. The air grew heavy, cold and still. The joyful laughter died in their throats, replaced by a growing knot of fear.
I don't like this anymore,
Luna whispered, her voice trembling. Saul, who had been tracing patterns in the air, now hugged himself, shivering. The colors are angry. River tried to hum a calming tune, but his throat was tight. Only Willow remained outwardly still, but her eyes darted around the oppressive woods. He did not stride from the trees. He simply was. One moment, there was only the oppressive gloom of the ancient woods. The next Chief Haloma stood before them. Panic seized them. The world, already distorted by the mushrooms, now twisted into a landscape of pure nightmare.
Screaming.
Luna screamed, a thin, reedy sound. Saul scrambled backward, his eyes wide with terror. River tried to stand, to run, but his legs felt like water. Willow alone seemed frozen, her gaze locked on the spectral chief. Roots, thick as pythons, snaked up from the ground, tripping Saul. Branches like skeletal arms reached down, snagging Luna's hair and clothes. The air grew thick with illusions, whispering faces in the leaves, accusing eyes in the darkness. The vibrant patterns they had admired now seemed like intricate, inescapable nets. What happened next was a blur of terror and dissolving realities. Some say they were absorbed into the forest, their consciousnesses becoming just another layer of whispers. Others whisper that they were simply driven mad, their connection to the everyday world severed. The forest grew quiet once more, but it was a different quiet now. Fort DeSoto Park, beautiful and serene on the surface, held its breath and waited.